According to Pazio, gnomes are simply gnomes, and to ask for more is to invite disaster. Viewer discretion is advised. This is Galorian in Depth, Gnomes, Exiles from the First World. In a previous video, we talked about the possibility that elves are alien to Galorian. There is no doubt about gnomes. They are alien, but not from another planet. They are from another plane entirely. The First World is so called because it is believed that this was the gods' first attempt at creation. This plane lacks physical laws that the material plane takes for granted. Gravity is inconsistent, and even the speed of light is an unpredictable variable. It is a constantly changing world, with trees as tall as mountains and living bodies of water. It is the world of the Fae. It is also the origin of the gnomes. The First World is full of life, and death is an unfamiliar concept. In the year -4202 AR, gnomes migrated to the material plane. Scholars have debated why the gnomes would leave a plane which they remember with such great fondness. Some theories suggest that they were banished, that they were a victim of a prank gone wrong. Maybe they were quarantined due to a disease that would become the bleaching, or that it was simply in their nature to explore things that were new to them. All of these theories have merit, but the full truth is much deeper. After the gods began to create the material plane, they abandoned the First World, leaving it to the elders. Life continued to flow into the First World from the positive energy plane with no outlet. This First World was literally overflowing with life. One of the elders, whose name has been lost to time, attempted to bring a cycle of life and death, the cycle of souls, to the First World by siphoning a trickle from the river of souls. He used this energy to give his attendant gnomes a semblance of mortal life. This theft did not go unnoticed, however. Pharasma, the Lady of Graves, was enraged by his hubris. This elder was plucked from existence and forced to serve in Pharasma's court for eternity. Death was taken away from the First World once again, and the gnomes she cast into the material plane that they might know mortal life as they ironically desired. Gnomes vary greatly in skin and hair color. This coloration has nothing to do with ethnicity, and even twins can have very wildly appearances from each other and from the rest of their family. These colors are typically more vibrant during childhood. Gnomes are known for having large, expressive eyes. These eyes do allow for the gnome to see very well even in limited light. But sight is only one of the senses that gnomes use to explore the world around them. They are curious by nature, and a gnome will use as many senses as possible. A gnome will want to touch, smell, and even taste whatever it is doing whenever it would be prudent, and frequently when it is not prudent. Gnomes will often interact with the material plane in ways that seem unusual to other races. They are often disjointed and chaotic in thinking, much like the Fae, despite being on this plane for thousands of years. Still, they are charming to many other races. Many gnomes have a natural predisposition for magic thanks to their otherworldly heritage. Some scholars believe that gnomes can bend some of the physical laws of the material plane to match the chaos found on the First World. Gnomes by nature like to explore the world around them, But another motivating factor on the material plane is a disease known as the bleaching. Although it is common for the color of an adult gnome to begin to wane, the bleaching is the physical decolorization and unnatural aging of a gnome caused by a lack of exposure to new and exciting experiences. This is accompanied by the psychological decline and loss of charisma as well. Although the origin of the bleaching is a mystery and no cure has been found, the disease can be reversed by the gnome immersing herself in new situations. The Wonder Seekers, a gnomish organization, works around the world to reverse the effects of the bleaching. Also of note are the Spriggans. During the earliest days of the exile from the First World, some gnomes felt robbed of their fey magic. They sought to siphon magic from the environment of the material plane. They not only absorbed life, but the curses and corruption as well. These gnomes became bitter and territorial, convinced that it was necessary for the survival on this harsh plane. These gray-skinned humanoids scarcely resemble their gnomish ancestors. They are reclusive, but a city of Spriggans exists in the Milwaukee Expanse. The Svirfneblin, or deep gnomes, live in the subterranean area known as the Darklands. When these gnomes were exiled to the material plane, they saw some of their enemies from the First World also cross over. They pursued after the gremlins, redcaps, boogeymen, and worse that infested the underground realms. Prolonged exposure to the Darklands magic transformed the gnomes' coloration to gray and browns. The Svirfneblin are one of the few denizens of the Darklands that are not inherently evil or corrupted by the Darklands. The first Svirfneblin was a gnome named Nivi Rumbedazzle. She was obsessed with gambling and games of chance. She was not addicted to winning as much as playing the game. She found herself in the Darklands, where she was amazed by the wonders and incredible sights. Embracing her new life below the surface of Golarion, she staved off the effects of the bleaching. It is said that she traded a gem to Torag during a game of chance in exchange for becoming a demigoddess and the mother of all Svirfneblin. Although Nivi Rumbedazzle is the only gnomish deity, Bry is also worshipped by some gnomes due to their love of inventions. However, their version depicts Bry as a gnome instead of in human form. Caden Kaline, Desna, Gazre, and Shilin are also worshipped by many gnomes. Gnomes are impulsive with bizarre logic that can be off-putting to some other ancestries, yet their energy and love for life can bring joy to their friends. These small humanoids truly appreciate things around them with childlike wonder. This has been an overview of the history and lore of gnomes in Golarion. If you would like to play a gnome in Pathfinder 2, please see No Nat 1's video on the mechanics. The link is in the description below. For more videos on Golarion lore, please remember to subscribe. Many people are divided on their appreciation of gnomes. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time on Golarion in Depth.